Welcome into sportsbookreview.com. I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And this is the College Football Show, Week 13 opening lines. Lots to discuss. Of course, we're going to recap just a bit. We're going to talk about all the different games for this week. We don't have Maction on Tuesday and Wednesday night. We do have some Thanksgiving football, though. Thank goodness. We got all kinds of stuff that we're going to dive into. We got Friday night football, Friday day football.
All day.
It's going to be 3 days of college football beauty.
Yes, sir.
I love this week. Every year it's incredible. So, and the crazy thing is, typically this is leading us into college, conference championship games, right? This go around, yeah, we still got weeks of football left.
Couple of weeks.
So, and then, it'd be, for some teams, it's 3 weeks because those are teams that are making up games on the 12th and the 19th. You've also got your championship games on the 19th. Then we roll directly into bowl season after that. Now, how this is going to work, we're less than a month away. We still have no idea. I don't think they know. I do know that the playoff committee is still flying their happy asses down to Dallas, and which makes no sense.
Get that free.
This is what Bill Hancock said. He's the executive commissioner or whatever it is of the college football playoff. He said, first off, that we ask the players to travel every week, so it's the least that we can do.
The least we can do is spend the money that we should be paying the players to fly us, all private, of course.
Of course.
Fly. Stay in a big, nice 5-star hotel.
It's got to have resort or Vista or something like that with it, right?
Free meal on the dime of all these college kids.
But he said they're socially distancing. Yeah. Of course.
That means
in this big office room.
They each get 2 rooms.
And on top of that, he said that they could not Zoom for these meetings because they fly down there on Monday, they have a 7 or 8 hour meeting, and then they have a 2 or 3 hour meeting on Tuesday. Now, you know that they're going to break that up so that they can go to lunch on Monday, right? So you're telling me that you couldn't do a few really long Zoom meetings? We pay for Zoom. It ain't that expensive. Doesn't quite make sense to me, but hey.
These guys are all just...
It is what it is.
You can't shit a shitter, okay?
I'm happy that we are getting college football and that we have a college football playoff and all that. It didn't make sense to me why they couldn't expand. Now, I understand you expand, that brings in more risk, that brings in more teams that may not be able to play due to contact tracing, You may have to rearrange the schedule. I get all that. But if you want to make some of that revenue back that all these schools lost,
I don't get any of it.
That would have been a way to do it. Just add a couple more games. It doesn't matter where they're played. They could be played on a Dallas high school football field. It'd be the same thing. I mean, my goodness. Anyway, long story short, go over to sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. That is your one-stop shop for all the college football data and information that you're going to need for the entire season. I'm telling you, the rest of the season, we got a long ways to go. We got a full bowl season. We got playoffs. We still got weeks and weeks of football. So go and check it out, sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. And make sure that you go ahead and like this video, that you subscribe to the channel, because we ain't going anywhere. We're going to be right here every Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday. I almost said Thursday. It's not that. Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday. Saturdays are 11 a.m. Eastern time for the closing line show. Tuesday is 6:30 p.m. Eastern time for the pick show. So it basically are deep dives into the biggest games and then our official picks for the week. And our Monday shows is this one right here. So whichever time we can get this thing done, right? Opening lines.
How are we doing closing lines this week?
Still going to be Saturday morning.
Okay.
Yep, still going to be Saturday morning.
You're not going to get any Thursday or Friday closing lines.
Yeah, but that's why we got Tuesday. So we're going to have to dive into it. Make sure we got plenty of those games, give out plenty of picks, all that good stuff. And, of course, if people want to reach out to us, we're going to have our phones. So you can always get to us. You can follow us on Twitter. I am at GaryWCE.
I'm at Chris B. Giannini.
And that is the easy way to do it. We are still doing the Pick 6 contest. Go to sbrpicks.com/pick6. That is PICK and the number 6. You can enter in, pick NFL games, pick college games, whatever it is, pick 6 games. Knock that bad boy out. And as I just said, you can follow us on Twitter. You can reach out to us, DM, open tweet, whatever. Doesn't matter. We will respond to you in as timely a fashion as possible. And obviously, we'll be around, family. Not massive family gatherings, but at least I'm not.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
So we're trying to be somewhat cautious. So we're not going to have our normal.
We are not.
We're not bringing the older family around this go around. So Is what it is. But I will be at my in-laws, but I will be watching football 4 days. It's going to be fantastic.
We're going to thin the herd in our family.
Let's dive into our recap right quick, and this will be a fast one. First off, Ohio State survives Indiana. Ohio State's secondary could give them a lot of trouble once they get into the college football playoff. However, this is like their fourth game. It's kind of the same thing with Alabama, right? Alabama looked like trash against Ole Miss, and since they gave up 48 to Ole Miss, in the next 4 games, they've given up 44 combined points.
Yeah, but they haven't played
another big offense, right? So that's the thing. This is your one stop to see, like, what are they going to do against a team that can actually throw the football?
And they won't play another big offense the rest of the way.
The rest of the way, they will not.
Unless they somehow find a way to make up that Maryland game. And I don't know how great Maryland's offense is, but that's the only other game they would have been tested in at all.
You are correct. Oklahoma drills Oklahoma State 41-13, and the Fighting Mike Gundy's disappoint us yet again in Bedlam. Every year I say, you know what, I'm never betting on them again against Ohio State or against Oklahoma, the Sooners. I do it almost time and time again, thinking, and sometimes they cover, right? Sometimes it's a close game, but most times it's exactly like this.
I need to know how a man who, in his spare time as a hobby, hunts rattlesnakes, also punts from his opponent's 42-yard line.
It's a good question.
And it was like 4th and 1, 4th and 2. I need to know, you're down 27 points.
And you punt?
And you punt from your own opponent's 42. 1 or 2 yards to the touchdown. And in your personal time, you hunt rattlesnakes.
Is it more embarrassing to only be beaten by 28 points?
How much of a coward are you?
Or to not go for it in a situation like that?
I mean, a man who kills rattlesnakes makes my heart smile because I'm a phobic of snakes.
Well, yeah.
But I don't understand how you have the courage to do that, but you're so cowardice on Saturdays. Because that's the only way I watched that game, and I saw this man is a coward.
And he's not typically a coward. He's not known for that. And then, for whatever reason, you get to Bedlam, and this dude is a completely different head coach.
Lincoln Riley has put him in a locker.
Ooh, yes, he has. Yes, he has. Along with that, let's see, Coastal Carolina, the Shants, 8-0. Let's go, baby. The Teal Field, of course, bringing some magic. They beat up on App State 34-23, and it wasn't really beat up, but they got the cover late. Everything is good in Shant world, and I'm ready for that Liberty game here in a couple of weeks. Now, who have they got this week?
Nobody.
Yeah,
Liberty has Mass, and they've
got it's not South Alabama. It's I didn't write it down.
Texas State.
Texas State. All right, they should handle Texas State. So Cincinnati stays undefeated, 36-33 against Central Florida, and that was another ending that I don't really understand because if you go ahead and score, like he's direct path to the end zone, and he goes to the fetal position at the 1-yard line, and why?
You're up 10. You're up 2 scores.
You would be up 10, and you're telling me that your defense,
and they have to score twice in a matter of like
a minute 20.
Yeah, it was less than a minute at that point in time. I think. I don't understand the math. It cost me the cover by the hook. It happens.
Is what it is. The Fighting Reese Davises. Do you see this? Northwestern gets the big win over Wisconsin, 17-7, and they apparently were fired up at practice all week about Joey Galloway saying that they were a bunch of Reese Davises on the field, non-athletic, not very good, and that they were going to have problems being able to compete with Wisconsin. Well, they put Wisconsin in a locker, as you say,
yes,
and they beat them with a bag of hammers, and it was awesome. So we enjoyed that. We got a little Northwestern playoff talk. Now this is heading into this week, I guess. Well, no, we'll stay on last week. Dabo was fired up about Florida State canceling their game on Saturday morning. He said that it's a forfeit because, my God, they were already down there, and he was mad because they spent $300,000 on travel for their team because one kid tested positive, and that's why they expanded the roster, and that's why they did that. They met all the ACC protocols. So on one side, I can get the Florida State side of, hey, we're trying to be cautious here. You just had a guy that tested positive around all these other dudes. We don't really want to risk it. There is no example of any in-competition transfer of the virus anywhere in the world. They have done all these different things to test it out. It has not happened anywhere in the world. There's not enough load management to be around each other that long to be able to catch it. So I can get why Dabo would be irritated about this. I can also get the Florida State side of, hey, let's just be cautious, and also maybe we not play a game where we're going to get our brains beat in, right? I ain't mad at nobody because I ain't a fan of either team.
Poor Dabo.
But Dabo whining about wanting a forfeit just drives me up the wall because does it make you feel better?
Poor little Dabo.
But you're going to add one more number to it? Is that what's going to get you into the playoff? I mean, it's stupid. This week, the Apple Cup is already canceled. They went ahead and nixed that one because Washington State has got issues. So Washington is free to play, and they have called the BYU Cougars.
Please let this happen.
So we are waiting. Now, by the time that this airs, it could be official. But we want to go ahead and jump on this thing. Yes, we want it to happen. BYU wants to play anybody, everybody, wherever.
Give me a number. Give me a number right now. What is that line? What does that line open at?
That opens BYU minus, well, the game would have to be in Seattle, right?
I don't care.
BYU minus 5. That would be my bet.
Not enough.
I don't think so either. I think BYU would absolutely beat the brakes off of them. Oh, my God.
Please let that happen.
Oh, that'd be so much fun. So much fun. All right, we spent way too long on that recap, so we apologize for that. But let's go ahead and dive into this week's action. And we are going to start things off with Colorado State and Air Force on Thanksgiving, Thursday, November 26th. This one is at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on CBS Sports Network. The line opened Air Force minus 7.5, total of 54.5. It is moved down now to Air Force minus 6.5. The early projected line, what the analytics would say it should be, is Air Force minus 2.5. And I think I agree with that. I kind of like Adazio's bunch in this spot. I don't know that I can ever trust Air Force. This may not be one that I put money on just because I don't know which Air Force team is going to show up. They are very Tulane-ish. I'll say that.
That's true. That's very true. That's a really good analogy for these teams. For Air Force. I will be around a lot of crazy Italians this day. I will probably be betting on a crazy Italian.
I can understand that. That's if you had to play it right now, that would certainly be my play.
Go with my boy Adazio. He's got a nice haircut.
I know that we're missing the hook, and if you can buy the hook,
this opened at 7.5, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, and then I couldn't find it at 7.5 by the time I actually got to any of the books, and I was like, oh, yeah, if you could get to the touchdown, but I don't see it going that way.
I don't either. I think it's going to move down even more. So we will see. We will see. Let's move on. The next game here on Thursday night. This is the only Thanksgiving night college football game. New Mexico headed to Utah State. This is rotation 129-130. Colorado State was 127-128 with Air Force. But 129-130, New Mexico at Utah State. Utah State is terrible. You know that you're terrible when you are an underdog at home to New Mexico. That's bad, folks. That is really, really, really bad. 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and this one got the FS1 treatment. Like, typically, this is like a CBS Sports Network or, hey, we're going to toss it on to, Stadium or whatever streaming.
This is going up against the big NFL game.
Yes, it is, and that's all right. If you want to watch college instead of NFL, we get it. Some people think it's a lot more fun.
Which is strange. I think both of those are on Fox.
No. One's the first one's on CBS Sports Network.
No, both games at that time slot.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I would bet. Maybe I'm wrong on the NFL game.
No, I bet it is Fox.
They've been simulcasting the NFL Network game, which is usually the Thursday night game. It might be NBC though.
It is NBC. It's Thanksgiving is always
Sunday,
NBC.
The NBC because Fox gets the Cowboys that day. They're not going to do that.
Yep, and CBS gets the Lions.
It's the Lions.
So that's the way it goes. But either way, New Mexico, of course, on the road. It opened 4.5. It's out to 5 already. Early projected line was 5.5.
Yep.
I don't have a feel on this because, again, I don't know how many times I've told you guys, my dad has always told me, never bet on a bad team to be good.
No.
So, in this case, either one of them, you are banking on a bad team to be good.
If you feel like you have an edge and you want to play this game, be my guest. Knock yourself out.
Hey, and if
I'm
you
telling
do,
you this.
jump in the comments and let us know what your play is. We would love
tell
that.
us why you have that edge, because we don't see anything. Both these teams are terrible.
Utah State just kicked their quarterback off the team.
Yes, just
they fired their coach.
They fired their coach 2 weeks ago.
They haven't played.
They've thrown their quarterback out of the team. This is a situation where let's get the early college football game in. Let's let the pros handle Thursday, and we'll jump in the pool with both feet Friday.
That's 100%.
I think that's my plan.
Well, let's do that. Let's go ahead and dive into Friday. And
Friday we getting started hot and early.
Yes, we most certainly are. Iowa State at Texas. It's 143, 144 rotation numbers. Texas opened a 2.5-point favorite with a total of 62.5. As it sits right now, Texas is a 2-point favorite. At some spots you can get 1.5. Is that right?
Yes, you can find a 1.5 and you can find a 1.
This one's all over the board, and
Between 2 and 1.
A lot of people love Iowa State here, and
and
I can understand it.
And we do this on Sunday evenings.
Of course,
all the money, right? 90% on Texas.
On Texas, and the line is moving down. Something's fishy about that.
I don't know,
man.
This Iowa State team, they're not going to beat themselves.
This is true.
Not that they're not capable of being beaten, but they're not going to do it by turning the ball. They're not going to give you extra opportunities. They're not going to turn the football over, and they're not going to beat themselves with penalties.
Yes.
They are going to play. I was more interested in what this total was because of how good their defense has played. 61 is what it opened at. It's probably 62, 62.5.
Yeah, 62.5. Yeah.
It's probably a good enough number for me to stay away. I definitely didn't think it was going to be in the upper 60s. If it was in the upper 60s, I was going to be playing under.
Oh, absolutely. 12 p.m. Eastern time on ABC is this game. And the early analytical line is Iowa State minus 0.39. So Iowa State
I was curious, would the analytics have them projected to win the game? Wrong team favored here.
And so far, yes.
It's by a fraction of a point.
Of a point, but yes.
I'm okay with that.
You're right about that. All right, let's go ahead and dive into the next game, the next biggest game. Again, not a lot of games this week, at least not that we are going to cover in this spot. We will talk about more of them on the Tuesday show. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel, that you like the video, all that good stuff. We'll be back right here on Tuesday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Notre Dame at North Carolina. Now, this one was a little strange. It's 3:30 p.m. Eastern time on ABC as well. 135, 136 rotation. Notre Dame opened 7.5, but that line opened, early on Saturday. So people were able to bet it before the openings on Sunday because Notre Dame and North Carolina did not play last week.
That's right.
They both had bye weeks leading into this game. Early projected analytical spread has Notre Dame minus 10.5.
Well, where'd the line go today?
The line right now.
Today when the open line's at 2 o'clock on Sunday.
That one was 7.5 at the majority of the books, and then it appears that some of these books opened at, 3.5?
At 4. They're all 4 across the board, 1 3.5.
It's very weird. Very weird. If it's that low, I kind of like Notre Dame here.
There's no kind of for me.
I
think they're going to road grade them, man.
You think so?
Yeah.
Man, it's an iffy game, but I do like Notre Dame feels more proven. They feel like the substantially better team, just significantly.
I just think
better.
that offensive line is going to push this defensive line around.
I do think that as
That's
well.
what I think. I think offensively, if Ian Book doesn't play great, it's okay because I think our offensive line can get us out of trouble. That's what I see this game as. And defensively, I like North Carolina. But not against this defense.
Not against this.
They hadn't played anybody like this all year.
No, you are right about that. You are right about that. All right, moving on. We've only got 2 more games that we're going to talk about. We were going to bring up the Apple Cup. Of course, that one has been canceled. So hopefully we will get Washington BYU in their place, but that will probably be a Saturday game if it indeed does happen. Stanford at Cal. Of course, this is, the game. The
band is on the field.
Yes, all that good stuff. And, boy, this is about as dreadful of a matchup between these two as you could possibly get. Stanford, a 1-point underdog on the road was the opening. It's all the way out to 2.5 now. This is a 4 p.m. Eastern time game on Fox. Now, these games, again, all on Friday that we're discussing right now. The analytics have Stanford minus 3.6. And I can kind of see that, you know.
This game is for the DFL in the Pac-12 South or North.
Pretty much.
I don't care.
Pretty much. That's exactly what it is.
I used to care about this game. 3 weeks of Pac-12 football have told me you don't have to care about this game.
Wilcox and that bunch.
I love that guy so much.
Oh,
man.
Absolutely. But it just goes to show you how difficult it is to be able to practice, to be able to build up any kind of a team with no experience coming back. Like, it's insanely difficult when you cannot practice at home, when you cannot do it the way that you are comfortable doing it.
Their restrictions in their county aren't even allowing. They're having to travel across county line borders just to practice.
It's insane. It's really insane.
Because the virus can't get you there.
It's so nuts. It's so nuts. The thing that I found the funniest is all the people in L.A. Like, they couldn't host games in L.A., but all the Dodgers fans and whatnot could pack up in airplanes and travel to Texas to sit in the stands and watch the Dodgers win the World Series.
That's right.
And it's the same thing here. It's Cal, okay, well, we can't play games at home, really.
Nope.
The latest thing, they had to switch up the schedules because they have a curfew now.
That's right.
In California.
They're having to move games up to make sure the games are all finished by the curfew.
How funny would that be if this was a night game and so say this game that starts at 4 p.m. Eastern time just goes overtime after overtime after overtime. Like, what are they going to do? Come on the field and arrest them? I mean,
no, but I think they'll kick them out. I bet I wouldn't. It wouldn't put it past me for the state of California law to come in and say this game is over. Y'all can resume play tomorrow.
Now, it's 4 p.m. Eastern time, which is 1 p.m. local time.
No, that's not happening. But that's why they bumped them all up.
It's insane. It's insane, which completely messes with TV schedules, man. You know, Fox and ABC and them are irritated about this.
Pull your business out of the state.
Oh, my God.
Bring it to Mississippi.
There you go.
We'll take all that crazy business.
How did we get it? I feel like we're getting kind of political, but I also feel like some of this is just kind of common sense type stuff.
Well, I don't know. I don't make these rules. I just know this. We don't have them here.
Yeah, we don't mean to offend anybody if you are a little worked up about this stuff. We understand all sides of it. We don't want to, we don't want to irritate anybody. But man, some of this stuff is just a little out there. So, hey, do you have a feel on this? I don't think it's possible to have a feel on this.
No, both these teams are terrible. Not either one of these teams have shown me a good play all year.
Cal has been able to move the football a little bit, or at least they did last week against
UCLA?
Against Oregon State.
Yeah.
They didn't
against UCLA. Come on, man. They moved the football against one of the worst defenses in college football. That doesn't tell me anything.
You bring up Oregon State being one of the worst defenses in college football. Why don't we bring up Oregon State? Of course.
That's the other game we're talking about?
Civil War, yeah. Okay. Oregon and Oregon State. Are there more?
No. Nope, there are no more. Keep going.
This one's a 4 p.m. Eastern time game on ESPN. The Ducks traveling over to the Beavers opened as a 16.5-point favorite, total of 61.5. The analytics have Oregon as a 20.5-point favorite.
But that's not where the sharp money's going.
Nope. It is down to 13.5.
All the sharp money has come in on Oregon State.
Now, Oregon State can score. I love Jonathan Smith.
They can score. And yes, Jonathan Smith looks great.
And yes, he has done a fantastic job with that team. They had a bunch of returning experience on offense coming back. Defense still leads.
Isn't this what we're finding?
Yes.
I mean, I feel like a broken record every week. Just bet on the more experienced team against a less experienced team, and you're kind of probably doing really good.
Yeah. Look at Northwestern.
Oh, no. I do.
I mean,
do all
absolutely
the time.
look at Northwestern.
I look at them all the time. It's so good.
What other Friday games should we...
I was only going to bring up the Nebraska-Iowa game just because I want to laugh at it.
So Nebraska is...
That's mean. That's wrong, and that's not fair.
Nebraska
has very good fans, and I laughed at them a lot.
Yes, you have. So we do have that one. We do have Southern Miss UAB. That was 17-point spread, but that is a rivalry game. Yeah. Nebraska-Iowa is a rivalry game.
That is a rivalry game.
Iowa has proven to be really good.
Both of these teams are both these states are really good at growing corn.
UCF.
That's where their similarities end.
Pretty much.
Because one's good at football and the other one's not.
UCF at South Florida. UCF is a 24.5 point favorite there. That the total is 70 in that game.
I know.
Is South
Do
Florida,
you think South Florida can score that much? Because I think I like that under a lot, unless UCF is going to hang 65.
I think UCF could certainly hang.
There's a world in which UCF could hang 65.
Yeah, they could hang a lot there. MAC game, interesting MAC game. Central Michigan and Eastern Michigan. That one could be fun. That open 4.5 for Central Michigan. It's at 6.
I'll have an eyeball on that game. That's going to be I think that's going to be a fun game.
Oh, and I just saw that they moved the Oregon State game to ESPN. That is now a 7 p.m. Eastern time game. So that's not 4 Eastern on Fox or whatever. That is 7 p.m. on ESPN. It changed things up on us. But that's all right. No worries. Let's move into the Saturday games, and I am stoked about these because Thanksgiving Saturday, always fun to sit around. You know, it's a lot of fun. Arkansas at Missouri, and I'm stoked about it. I'm pumped about it. 159, 160 rotation numbers. Missouri opened a 2-point favorite. The analytics have it as Missouri minus a half a point, which I found a little surprising that Missouri was actually favored in this spot.
I was shocked Missouri was favored. I was shocked that the analytics have Missouri to be favored.
I think that's the biggest thing that surprised me. Like, it doesn't shock me that Missouri would be favored in the court of public opinion kind of thing. But I also feel like a lot of people love Arkansas, but I wonder how many people dropped off of them after that loss to LSU.
That was a hard-fought, great game.
Oh, it certainly was.
That was a dead even. That's the most even game I've watched all year, maybe in a couple of years.
This was a SEC Network game, total of 51.5. So they don't expect a lot of points, and I don't think that I do either.
No, I don't, and I think it's going to be close. I mean, I like Arkansas. I like the Hogs. I have all year. Last week I got off of them. They were all my boys. I think this is a good team. I think Missouri's good, though, too. I enjoy watching Missouri.
I am waiting for Arkansas's defense to absolutely play lights out in this game.
See,
Barry Odom,
I think
going back to Missouri.
So I didn't even
that storyline.
I'm liking this, and I didn't even see that.
Yeah, that storyline is legit because
they're going to play hard for him. They do play hard for him.
Yes, they do, and I think Arkansas, as far as talent goes, they are right there, if not better.
No, they're not hurting for talent against Missouri.
Yeah,
this is pretty even. This is not Arkansas LSU, and one team's playing above their grade and the other team's playing down their grade. No, this is even Steven. I like Arkansas, man.
Yeah, I
have all year.
Let's move into another Big Ten matchup here. Is another? Or I guess this is the first one. It is the first one. Hey, this is the nobody cares anymore game. 181-182. Penn State at Michigan. Michigan opened a 4-point favorite, which is kind of insane. How Michigan can be favored over anybody at this point is a little crazy, but I don't know that you can have Penn State favored over anybody either.
Pretty much 3.5 across the board.
Somebody decided that this was going to be the ABC game. National broadcast.
That's just laundry. That's just we are whoring ourselves out to these two fan bases.
Michigan is currently a 3.5-point favorite. The analytics have Michigan minus 0.39. That is the difference between these two teams.
You're not allowed to have ties in college football. You should.
Yeah, I agree with you. Is there a curfew in Michigan?
No.
Well, that's not going to save us then. I don't know what to make of this. I would imagine, I think for the team that has quit more, I think that's Penn State.
Yeah, we saw Michigan fight hard against Rutgers at the end of that game in overtime.
And I think they found a quarterback.
Well,
Cade McNamara looked good, man.
Yeah.
That game would not have been close had they not had Milton in it.
You're right. I know you like Milton. I like Milton. I like Milton, and I don't like that.
You don't like people trashing on him. I understand.
Be nice to Milton. I think he's good. He looks just like my quarterback, and I like him a lot.
No, he came out of the gates firing
up. I know,
but that was against.
I thought they had a quarterback.
That was against Minnesota.
That didn't help. That didn't help my stats at
all. Maryland at Indiana, and we're going to see if this game actually gets played or not. I would love for it to.
I want it to get played. I want as much Indiana football as we can get.
I want Maryland football, man. Maryland is fun.
No, I got that. I'm falling in love with Tom Allen, though.
You think he gets hired somewhere else?
No, stay there. Stay there. Where are you going to go? You're in the Big Ten.
Yeah, but he's at Indiana.
Well, all right, so you want to take that South Carolina job? Is that different, or is it just the same damn thing?
I mean, he's going to make more at South Carolina.
Okay, he might make more money, but it's the same job.
I mean, it's kind of the same job. I think you've got more of a chance to win at South Carolina.
You have zero chance to win at South Carolina compared to Indiana.
Now, what makes you say that?
I think Indiana, because the SEC is way better than the Big Ten.
Yeah, but you can also get better players at South Carolina.
You just have to find a year where Ohio State's down, and you can take them.
I need you guys to jump into the chat. What do you think the better job is? Is the better job Indiana or is the better job South Carolina?
They say the better job. That's not what the argument is. It's not what the debate is.
What is the
debate? Is it easier to win at South Carolina or is it easier to win at Indiana?
Okay, there you go. Is it easier to win at Indiana or at South Carolina?
Because you get to beat up on cupcakes like Michigan and Penn State while they got to play Florida and Georgia.
Do you like so I hadn't even talked about the line.
No.
Indiana minus 14 is the line.
It's only open at a few places because nobody knows what Maryland's got going on.
Total of 61. It's on ESPN 2. The analytics have this Indiana minus 18.3.
Yeah, if this game gets played, that over is going to hit big. Okay?
I think so.
Because Maryland can score and Indiana absolutely going to score. I'm all heart would say I would just take Indiana and lay the points. I don't care how big it is because I just want to root for Tom Allen to kick somebody's ass.
That thing gets over 2 touchdowns. I am all over Maryland.
That's fine. That's fine. That's probably the right play. I don't care about the right play. I want to bet on my guy.
Let's move on and let's talk about what I think is the best game of the morning, and I don't think it's close. And you may laugh at me for this.
No, I'm hoping it's the game I'm thinking of.
195, 196 rotation numbers. Kent State at Buffalo.
Maction, baby.
Better believe it. And these are two undefeated teams that have been smoking literally everybody. I'm talking legit smoking them, like not even close. They are heads and shoulders above everybody else in the MAC right now. Sean Lewis, what he is doing at Kent State, that dude is somebody that needs to be picked up by somebody else.
Well, no, yeah. Go get you a big
If you wanted somebody, like if you wanted to take a coach that could whip somebody's ass, like if you had to have a coach for a fight, right? So we've talked about Ed Orgeron could beat people up in the SEC and all that. Sean Lewis is your dude. He's like 6'6", 6'7".
You drop him in the SEC. Let's pretend that Coach Boom's still there.
Oh,
you taking him over all those guys? You taking him over Boom? You taking him over Ed? Ed?
This might be a show that we need to do at some point. We're going to draft out our coaches that fight each other. I like that idea.
What's the guy from? Oh God, now my brain just went dead. Vanderbilt's coach.
Derek Mason.
Mason's
a fierce dude right there.
Without question, my number 2 behind Ed.
Oh, he's hardcore. He's hardcore.
That dude's my number 2, and it ain't close.
Buffalo is a 9.5 point. Buffalo's a 9.5 point favorite as it sits right now.
I thought that number was. I think this is 2.5 points too big.
The total is 65.5, and I think that's the one that's going to hit. Buffalo's defense is legit.
I agree.
Kent State hasn't played against a defense like this yet.
That's correct.
I do think they will be able to put up points. I like the over 65.5 for sure. I think that's going to get closer to 70 as we get.
Yeah, I could see it jumping up 5 points, 4.5 points. That's not crazy for a total. What do you think of the line? Because I thought this was going to open at a touchdown.
I did too.
When I saw 9.5, I thought, am I missing something, or is this public fan knows Buffalo's been really good for a couple of years? Does anybody outside of people who follow Maction know anything about Kent State?
No, they don't.
Okay.
Nobody follows Kent State. Kent State had a winning streak last year to get into a bowl game. They won their first bowl game since like 1970. It was all.
How many people actually even know that?
I'm going to guess very little.
Very few.
But Kent State is a legit team.
I know they are.
They have completely rebuilt this team.
I thought a touchdown.
Sean Lewis, of course, a Dino Babers guy. We love Dino Babers. He's awesome.
I'd take Dino in that draft. Dude's
Yeah, Dino's pretty rough too, man. Dino's pretty rough. So the analytics would have Buffalo favored by nearly 12 points.
No way.
Yeah, because the talent advantage for Buffalo is pretty sizable.
Is it that
here.
big?
Yeah, Kent State doesn't have a ton of size, but they use the field in a very different way.
Yeah,
and it's not just
they play a different style of football.
It's not just talent; it's also the fact that Buffalo has a defense and Kent State doesn't.
No, so, they're conceding one side of the ball completely,
and you can't do that against Buffalo.
No, I get that.
I think the play
I'll tell you this Kent State team. I like watching them, so I kind of wanted to pull for them, and I wanted to bet on them.
This thing hits double digits. I'll probably play Kent State.
Okay,
but I don't know that it'll be the right play.
It'll just be the play you want to make.
It'll just be the play I want to make. So I'm not going to put.
That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I'm not going to put a sizable bet on this, just because I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I don't have an edge. However, if you have an edge, jump in the comments and tell us. Help me out.
Mentally, I just felt like this was too big.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong on what I think the line should be, though.
I think a lot of people would agree with that. I think a lot of people would agree.
Made this the best game of the hour.
Yes, of the morning slate for sure. I think it certainly is. Saturday afternoon slate, let's go ahead and move into that. Colorado and USC. That one is now officially the 2:30 Central Time, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time ABC game. Two undefeated teams. Colorado didn't get to play last week because Arizona State had their issues and whatnot, and that's all right. Is what it is. Just move on to the next one. We didn't get Colorado State and Colorado. That kind of sucks. The Rocky Mountain Classic or whatever they call it. That sucks, but it is what it is, right? So USC kind of blew the doors off Utah. Kind of called that last week. 10.5 is the number here. I don't like USC as a double-digit favorite over anybody.
Well, it's not 10.5 anymore. So if you didn't like the 10.5,
I'm going to love it now, right? It's 13.5.
Yeah.
It just keeps on going.
If you like Colorado at 10.5, you're going to love them at 13.5.
Analytics would have USC minus 11.47.
So I kind of like USC. I think USC is getting better. It has become low-hanging fruit to just make fun of Clay Helton. I think Clay Helton is a pretty damn good coach.
Yeah, I think he's okay. But he's
better than okay. I think the standard at USC is a little ridiculous.
Oh, okay. I can somewhat side with that. I'm not.
But now my opinion about standards in college football. It's not your God-given birthright to win 10 games a year. Get over yourselves.
This is true. However, I don't know that I necessarily I don't know that I trust Clay Helton. How's that?
Okay, that's respectable.
He only had the one bad year.
That's right.
But his team constantly underperforms. Every weekend, it feels like. Now, against Utah, they handled that.
It seems like they are getting better. They underperformed week 1. They underperformed week 2. And week 3, they kicked the crap out of somebody.
I can't read anything into that Utah win because they always have success against Utah. Always. Okay. Well, so how about this? Any team that runs that air raid offense that Graham Harrell likes to run.
So if they kick the crap out of Colorado, are we okay?
It still doesn't necessarily.
Still not trusting?
It still doesn't necessarily show me anything because Colorado was supposed to be awful, but they came out and they got 2 wins early against teams that ain't real good. If they beat the crap out of them, I'm going to feel a lot better about them going into the next week.
Let's just say they cover this line. They beat them by 14.
If they beat them by 14, I think they're getting more trustworthy, right? Okay. But there's so many games that come down to the wire against insanely less equipped teams. Not less talented, less whatever, less equipped teams. So that's where I stand with USC is I don't trust them to be able to cover big numbers, and they consistently underperform. They're like the Titans in the NFL. They play down to the level of competition. They play up to the level that stuff drives me nuts.
Yeah, I get that. I just feel like it's become the just cheap, low-hanging fruit to always crap on Clay.
Oh, it certainly is.
If you look at his resume, I mean, he's been pretty good. And that really bad year that he did he did it under chaotic administration at USC.
Oh, yeah.
Breathing down his neck constantly and constantly meddling.
With a quarterback that technically should have still been in high school.
Yes. And I'm more apt to give some guys second chances.
Yeah.
And I just think we made up our mind a long time ago, this guy's not a good coach. And nobody's willing to change their opinion once they make up their mind on something.
Totally fair.
And that I think that bothers me. I think he's getting a little bit of a bad rap from all that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That is fair. Let's move on from there. Let's jump into Pittsburgh at Clemson. And this is the 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time ESPN game. Clemson, of course, did not get to play last week. I'm sure that they are going to be fired up. The analytics have this Clemson minus 28.64. However, it opened at Clemson minus 26 with a total of 65. Last 55, I saw it,
55.
Oh, I typed it out wrong. So 55. Okay.
Yep, that's okay.
Clemson is currently, what, 26.5?
26.5, and it's only at one book.
And that's because they're trying to figure out about this Clemson testing, right? The backup offensive lineman tested positive. Now they're waiting on other PCR tests from other players on the team to see who's out, who's in. Are they going to be able to play?
Correct.
Blah, 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 blah. All this kind of stuff. I will tell you this. Pitt has looked really good now that they got Kenny Pickett back, now that they got this stuff kind of sorted out.
I did not think Pickett was going to make that big of a difference. Man, he really has.
He has made a massive difference. And that defense is still freaking ferocious.
The defense doesn't change. That is just that's Pittsburgh football. Okay?
Yes. Narduzzi, that's what he does, man.
Yeah, that doesn't change. I was really shocked to see Pickett make that big. Maybe I guess I shouldn't. I just underestimated him a lot. I didn't think he was that. I thought the style of offense that they ran, the style of play they ran, I was like, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Anybody can run this offense. They're not a high-flying offense. They're not UCF.
I mean, they do throw a lot more than they run now.
They do now. You're right.
And so
a lot of that's biases from what I've seen Pittsburgh do.
Yeah, we're used to Pittsburgh. I mean, just a few years ago, Pitt ran it 70% of the time.
Round and pound, 13 points, and you win the game.
They hired in, what's the former UMass guy? Is it Mark Whipple or either way, they switched it. They switched their whole offense within like 3 years to go from 70% running to 70% passing. It's pretty nuts. Like the Pittsburgh offensive coordinator has completely shifted that offensive philosophy, and it's worked out for them. So
yeah, it's Mark Whipple.
That's it. So yeah, I'm curious about that. I think that Pitt can absolutely stay in this game, but if Clemson comes out pissed off, man, all bets are off. I don't know that I'm going to officially pick that one, but I will dive into it. We'll see. I mean, I've seen Travis Etienne against a good rushing defense.
Yeah, me too.
And
it didn't look good.
And I'll tell you this.
If he doesn't look good this game, he will have cost himself. You better hope those boosters in Clemson are taking care of you, my friend, because you've cost yourself large sums of money.
Let's go ahead and dive into the Iron Bowl. Auburn at Alabama. It's in Tuscaloosa. This is the 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time CBS game of the week, and it is also the location of College Game Day this week. Biggest game on the board. Auburn is what, a top 20 team, top 22?
22.
So number 22 against number 1. It's, I think, the biggest ranked matchup of the day, if I'm not mistaken. But, Alabama opened favored by 23.5. That has jumped out to 24 at most spots, I believe. Total is 60.5. Is that right?
60.5. Yes,
60.5. Analytics have this Alabama minus 21.96.
Yeah.
The line always gets inflated with Alabama. However, last week we all kind of felt like it might have been a little inflated. It was 31 over Kentucky. They won by 60. They do have the capability of just pouring it on when they want to. Can they do that against Auburn? They have in the past. This may be a stay away because I like Alabama in the game, but I don't like the number because I think the number is too high. But you can't get me betting Auburn against that team. Yeah. Like that's trying to bet against Clemson, right? That's Pitt against Clemson. You feel like an idiot if you bet against the team and then it goes the wrong way, right?
Yeah.
So that's the situation that I feel like.
Yeah, if you bet Bama and you lose, you feel like, well, at least I had the better side. Yeah. If you bet Auburn and you lose, you feel like an idiot.
And I don't like feeling like an idiot. On Saturday I feel like just kind of trying to enjoy myself, and I betting against Ohio State, betting against Clemson, betting against. Now I did end up betting against Ohio State.
Well,
Saturday.
yeah, I did too. So, it was awesome. I bet against these guys all the time.
That closing line,
but looking like an idiot ain't anything new for me. It's just part of 38 years on this earth. All right.
So the edge as it seems right now.
Sharp money has come in big on Auburn.
So that's it. So the edge, as far as the numbers go, is certainly with Auburn. What that means, who knows? I mean, I don't know. I'll tell you this: Alabama players not happy with the way things went down in Auburn last year. But does that mean anything? Who knows? Pudding. Oh, pudding. All right, moving on from there, and this is going to be
Dabo, just two crybabies. Life's just tough for those boys.
You trying to get at me right now? I know what you're
just
doing.
So hard.
I know what you're doing. But we are not going to allow that to happen. We're not allowing that to happen because right now we're going to move into the Mountain West Conference. Boise State hosting San Jose State. That is right. The undefeated Spartans going to the blue turf. And I'm excited about it.
Me too.
Boise did not look all that great against Hawaii.
They did not.
And yet here they are, 11.5-point favorites. It opened at 11.5. It is still at 11.5. The analytics have it Boise minus 11.12. Total of 58.5. Feel like that's about right because these two teams do have defenses. They both like to run the ball a little bit. It's a 4 p.m. Eastern time game, and check this out. On Big Fox.
Yeah.
Boise State getting the national television brand treatment. I like it. There is no way that I would play Boise State in this spot.
Really?
And that's kind of crazy, right? But San Jose State has shown me they are a legit, real football team.
Okay.
I do think that this is a game that San Jose State can keep incredibly close. And what I learned against Hawaii and what I have seen against BYU, and no, San Jose State is not BYU by any stretch of the imagination, but I have seen that teams can move the football on them. And now, where it gets crazy is special teams and whatnot, but San Jose State, one of the better special teams units in the country.
I agree with that.
We saw against Colorado State that Boise, if you allow them to block kicks and run kicks back and all that, I mean, they had 3 special teams touchdowns. Excuse me. All of that stuff going on, yeah, Boise can absolutely blow you out, but I like San Jose State here. That may be one of my official plays on Tuesday. We shall see. You got to lean on it.
Yeah, I like Boise.
I do feel a little better about that because you liked Boise last week.
But no, here's the problem with that. Boise was the right play last week.
Oh, they certainly were.
I mean, they got the back door.
Yeah,
and then they had an opportunity to take the lead back again,
and they just
sat on it. They just sat on it. They could have kicked a field goal, or they could have ran it in pretty easily. Chose to sit on it to end the game, to win the game. That's fine. That's the right play for the team. It hurt the spread, but they were the right side.
No, you're dead on about that. You were dead on about that.
That's why I'm not worried about it.
Moving on, the Egg Bowl. That's right, SEC Network. This is a 4 p.m. Eastern time game. Mississippi State and Ole Miss. It's rotation 241, 242. I hadn't read all these rotation numbers. Is what it is.
It's okay.
Ole Miss, by the analytics, should be favored by 11.3. They are opened at minus 11.5. And 65.5 total. That seemed...
Nope, that's right.
That seemed about right.
That seems about right.
It is down to Ole Miss minus 10.
Yes.
A lot of people loving on Mississippi State after they put up a hell of a fight against Georgia.
Correct.
I don't know that those teams are even remotely comparable.
No, this is all State gave Georgia a hell of a fight, and I loved watching that game. I was all in on it the whole way through. I was pulling for the miracle. I really was. I don't know if they can do it 2 weeks in a row.
I don't think so.
They went down to Athens with 48, 49 scholarship athletes, and that's it. And they're not going to have that many more this week.
Do you think they got stronger by actually getting rid of, just cut the dead weight?
No, I would tell you this. The guys that showed up to play in Athens,
they showed up to play.
They are going to play with heart. The problem is beating up on Georgia ain't Ole Miss, okay?
Yeah,
that Georgia's offense is garbage. Garbage.
Ole Miss will be able to move the football.
They are going to score in droves, and I just don't think State. Now, State's offense is going to look really good. I don't know that they can hang with Ole Miss.
I don't think so either. So that's my lean right now. Ole Miss minus 10.
Yep.
Obviously, we'll see. These rivalry games can be a little crazy.
Now this rivalry game, I am actually more interested in it than I have been in years.
You talking about the Egg Bowl?
Yes.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Because this is a rivalry that for the last decade or so has been so vile and so nasty. And now you have two coaches that are very likable and they like one another.
They're friendly with each other.
Goof off with one another constantly. It's buddy more than friendly. Like they're chums. And I respect that. I appreciate it. Being a neutral observer in this state, trapped around these two teams, I'm really glad that we're going to tamp down the hatred.
Yes, I tend to agree with you.
Mock your buddy. Make fun of him all you want. The wanting to set his house on fire and kill his dog is just got to stop.
Yeah,
because that's where this thing was.
Yeah, it was really bad here.
It's
for
nasty.
A while. Really bad for a while.
Well, that's on Dan and Hugh. These are two unlikable guys that are real easily to hate, and they just spew vitriol and hatred all around their aura.
Yes, they do. Yes,
so
they still
that's the difference between those two coaches and these two coaches.
You've got that right, and it's going to be fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a fun game.
Moving into Saturday evening, and there's only two games in the evening that I want to discuss here. 235, 236 rotation, LSU at Texas A&M. A&M opened a 14-point favorite, total of 64. That's 7 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN. The stats have got A&M minus 11.98. So,
and that's where 12. The line's going, by the way, because it's at
12.5.
13 or 12.5 at a lot of places.
I haven't. A&M hadn't played in a month.
They haven't played in a long. What is this? It's seriously 2 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. So this will be 4.
Yes. Is that right?
No. I think they've only not.
No, they had the
bye
week. No,
they had the bye week and they missed one game.
No, they had the bye week. They missed Tennessee. They missed Ole Miss.
Oh,
and now it's literally been like
3
a month.
Weeks.
It's been a month.
It will be 4 weeks when they play. Holy shit. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I didn't realize it was that long. I don't know if I like that or not, man. Because we've seen teams not play for a while and then play, and they come out like gangbusters.
Do they come out hungry or do they come out, rusty? That's the issue, right? And Kellen Mond was getting to a point where he was
looking good. He was looking good.
Yeah.
This is tough for me. It's not tough for me. I like my guys. They look good. The defense finally started looking good. It wasn't against a great offense. I definitely think Jimbo's going to have a better offensive game plan together than Arkansas had. I like Mond more than I like Felipe. That's kind of an understatement.
I will tell you this. If I absolutely had to pick it, I would go LSU.
Really?
Because I think that it would take a while, because LSU has at least been playing, right?
We have been playing.
You got the game
we went 2 weeks off.
Because y'all have had 2 weeks.
We had 2 weeks off.
But you did get to play last week, which means you guys got into motion. You're feeling, right. A&M, they've got a little revenge on their minds from last year, getting beat 50-7, but they haven't played in a month. And that is always going to kind of, like, I saw that happen to Memphis, and it took them, 2.5 to 3 quarters to get rolling against SMU because they played on the opening weekend, and then it took them, 4 weeks to be able to get back to play against SMU because they had so many games canceled, et cetera, and the offense just was not there to start with. So if there is no offense to start, then LSU can certainly get ahead in this spot. And are you scared of A&M's defense?
No. We're going to put up points. I think we're going to score. I think we're going to score.
I think LSU is the side right now. Now, where this line goes to, who knows? But, that would be my lean right now. I don't know that I would make it an official play yet. But by Tuesday, who knows? Who knows where this thing will be? And then finally, we will close out the show with Oklahoma and West Virginia. And I think this one's going to be interesting. This is a 7:30 p.m. Eastern time game on ABC. Oklahoma is favored by 11 right now. It opened at 10. Total, tell me if this is right. Did that say 54.5?
54.5.
The analytics say that Oklahoma should be favored by 11.06 points.
That's right.
Help me here. I don't know which way I'm leaning. I feel like West Virginia at home. Now, Oklahoma has been steamrolling everybody. And I know that. And I like to be the contrarian that goes against the grain when everybody goes, oh, Oklahoma's fixed. They're right. They're going out. They're getting this done. They always tend to have a little bit of trouble in Morgantown. Everybody typically does. That's a tough trip to make.
A lot of teams have had a hard time in Morgantown.
So that's a tough trip to make. That West Virginia defense is pretty legit. Now, obviously, Oklahoma State's defense was supposed to be legit, and they just didn't show up last week. I like Jared Dagey. I like West Virginia's offense more than I like Oklahoma State's right now because they just can't get anything done.
So you think this total's wrong?
I feel like we should be over 54.5.
Yeah.
I also feel like
the same thing.
I feel like I kind of want to. I mean, it's moved up to 11. I kind of want to go against the early money and maybe take West Virginia.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that didn't surprise me.
I'll probably take West Virginia just because I like Neil Brown more than I like Lincoln Riley.
Yeah. I'm a Neil guy. Now, you know that.
It's a strange place to be in. You know, it's rough. It's rough because I obviously Oklahoma is playing really well right now. But I do think West Virginia is a pretty good football team. So
I didn't watch a lot of Bedlam. It was 27-13.
27-13 for a large portion of it.
Right. And then Oklahoma didn't score again until like the end of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So at some point in time, that defense did show up and say, "You're done."
Yeah.
For a large part of time, and the offense just couldn't catch back up. The defense had a rough start, and then completely shut Oklahoma down.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma State's offense just never could get anything going. Well, I mean, putting from the other team's 42.
Yeah, Sanders couldn't.
But Sanders looked bad. Sanders looked real bad.
Well, and then, of course, they had to bring in the backup. Yeah. Illingsworth didn't look great. 5 out of 21 passes.
But we knew, as soon as Sanders goes down, we know they're done because we've seen this kid play a couple of games.
Yeah, yeah. I do like West Virginia here. I don't think it's the smart play.
No.
But, you know, maybe I don't know. I'm gonna take it because I like it, and maybe I'll make it an official pick. We'll just see where the line goes. How's that?
Is it bad of me? Is it like a dick move for not liking oh my God, kid's name was that? The quarterback for Rattler?
Spencer Rattler? No, I don't really like him either.
Like, he's putting up stats against I don't think
it's that we don't like I think you and I are built to dislike whoever the Oklahoma quarterback is.
No. I mean, I didn't dislike Jalen.
I disliked Kyler Murray.
No, I didn't. I didn't dislike. I didn't like Baker, and I still don't.
I think it's because I liked
Jalen and I liked Kyler.
They get the media shining because they have the Lincoln Riley.
Oh no, they definitely get the ball washing. No, that happens.
So I think that's why we have such an issue, and he certainly got it before he had even played it down.
I think that's what I don't. You're right. I think that's it.
The people that get overhyped before they actually prove anything.
I don't think he's earned it, and then I've watched other guys earn it. I've watched Cincinnati quarterback earn it. I've watched BYU's quarterback earn it. Like, I've watched these other quarterbacks earn it. UCF, like, these other guys they're playing better than him.
Those guys are getting a lot of love too. They're getting hype.
They're not getting that kind of hype because they play at small schools and those schools don't belong, and that's the problem I have.
I think that's a good way to close it out.
Sure.
Go ahead and jump in the comments. Leave which game you think we need to find an edge on, which one you think you have found an edge on, all that good stuff. Jump in the comment. Leave those there. Make sure that you go ahead and like this video and that you subscribe to the channel. We will be back here on Tuesday. Our schedule is not changing this week. We'll be here Tuesday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time for our deep dives and our official pick show. And then we'll be back on Saturday morning to go ahead and knock out our closing lines. 11 a.m. Eastern Time every single week. We are going to be ready to rock and roll. And I feel good about some things so far. We'll see exactly what happens, but we will get there. So go over to sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. That is the one-stop shop for everything in the college football universe, at least in regards to gambling, of course. So go ahead and check that out. There's going to be deep dives up already. So as soon as you go over there, we're already checking out this week. We've already got stuff that we found this week over there. So go check it out. Make sure, again, that you are subscribed, that you leave a comment, whether you like us, don't like us, whatever it is, we'd love to hear your opinion. We'd love to hear what games you're picking this week. And, again, we're not going to hit every single game every single week. There's just not enough time. I mean, obviously, we've gone an hour. It is what it is. So you can follow us on Twitter. I am at Gary WCE.
I'm at Chris B. Giannini.
And with that said, for sportsbookreview.com, I'm Gary.
I'm Chris.
And we will see you again on Tuesday.